We are live, guys. Welcome to the channel. My name is Patrick Lorienti with the Light Group. And in today's video, we're going to tell you everything you need to know about the Denver real estate market. If you haven't been on the channel before, welcome. For all of those who have seen my lives, welcome back. We do this every single Wednesday. And guys, you're likely not going to get this depth of this in-depth of a market update about the Denver real estate market anywhere else. So be sure to subscribe so that way when you are ready to sell or buy, you're equipped with all of the knowledge that you can actually then use to go make decisions in today's market. And so today we're going to go over a report, and then I'm going to give you my take on what's actually happening in the real estate market, and then just some general insights for buyers and sellers. And guys, for sellers, we just got 2 homes under contract in 3 days, both over asking in a market where the average days on market was 60 to 90 days. So with that said, I'm going to share a little bit about the secret sauce there, the secret sauce. But let's dive in. So we've got the report here, and I'm going to zoom you guys in so that way you guys can see this a little bit better. And let's do this. So strong showings, softer prices, the market's mixed signals. So contract activity rose again last week, hitting its highest level since early June. Guys, that is so wild. The fact that we're having more contracts, meaning more buyers put homes under contracts now today versus early June, that's not common. That's not normal to the historical pattern. So really interesting stat there. Much of this momentum is tied to the Fed's recent rate cuts, sparking buyer enthusiasm, even as mortgage rates themselves have ticked slightly higher. Yes, you read that right. At the same time, the average days on market climbed to 55. Inventory slipped to 12,584 homes. We'll show you guys this graph here in a second. And buyer showings held strongly at nearly 24,000, still with just 1.88 showings per property on average. Seller competition remains significant. Guys, like when you see these graphs, you're going to be mind blown. I'm going to show you guys the difference between COVID, when rates were 2%, 3%, and we were seeing 24,000 showings per week. And I'm going to show you the contrast between what that actually means per listing. It's mind blowing. Price reductions eased slightly from a recent peak, down from 59% to 55% of all homes on the market, while seller concessions continue to rise, averaging 7,600 per contract. Bottom line, buyer optimism is fueling more contracts, but sellers shouldn't expect anything beyond the normal fall and early winter reality. Offers below asking, longer days on market, continued price reduction, and rising concessions. Even if buyer activity picks up as rates decline, supply still outweighs demand, and the negative price curve will carry through into early 2026. So despite the higher contracts, despite an improvement in the amount of homes that are reducing price, guys, like we're still in a negative price curve, okay? Let's not forget this piece. It is definitely a buyer's market. But let's look at contracts. A total of 909 properties went under contract last week, making it the 6th busiest week of the year and an outlier for typical fall activity. In fact, it's the strongest contract pace for this time of year since 2021, when rates were like 3 to 2%. Still, unless mortgage rates drop substantially in the coming weeks, which appears unlikely, contract activity will settle back into normal fall and early winter patterns. Showings. Buyer activity remains exceptionally strong, nearly 24,000 showings last week. Despite high inventory and elevated interest rates, demand has stayed resilient, revealing a steady undercurrent of pent-up buyer interest. This is insane. Like, look at, so this brownish line is 2025. I want to make sure you guys can see this. Okay. So this light green line is 2021. We're experiencing about the same amount of showings in today's market that we were back when rates were 3 to 2%. Bonkers. We're going to show you showings per contract here, and then I'm going to move to a different screen and show you how many showings per listing. Because again, it's actually going to blow your mind, guys, because we're going to show you the same amount of showings, but how different the market actually is today. That said, buyers have shown remarkable patience over the past 18 months. Since April 2024, total showing volume has been robust. This is total showing volume, but increased choice is stretching out decision timelines. Where buyers once toured 17 to 20 homes before going under contract, today it often takes 28 to 35 showings before an offer is made. So guys, buyers are being pickier. They have the right to be. They have a ton of inventory. It's an expensive market, and they're just taking longer to make decisions. And so that's what's being outlined here. And it's so, so true. I know it because I have buyers doing the same thing, and I have listings where buyers are also doing the same thing. For sellers, the takeaway is clear. The market isn't short on buyers, but it is long on options. Sellers must be emotionally prepared for a longer journey and recognize the patience, pricing, and presentation all matter more than it ever has, period. Price, even with strong buyer activity and prices that look steady on the surface, two realities matter for both buyers and sellers. First, price will decline between now and year end. In Colorado, fall and early winter consistently bring a negative price curve, and this year is no exception. Second, prices are actually softer than they appear. Last week's median sold price was $590, but that number masks the real trend. Larger homes are carrying the volume, while the average price per square foot has fallen to its lowest level in 4 years. Guys, if you've been on this channel, you know I've had sellers that have had to bring a substantial amount of money to closing to sell their house, and they bought in 2022. There are a handful of sellers in this market that are lucky to break even, and a lot of times losing money. I'm seeing short sales come back to the market. I myself have helped somebody through a short sell. In fact, they found me on this channel. Amazing clients just happen to be in that situation where it's the short sell. And so I encourage you guys, if you have any real estate questions or needs, as much as I love doing videos, I would love to serve you more. And so my email is down below, or you can book a call with me down below at the link in the description, and would love nothing more to help you guys navigate this somewhat treacherous market from many perspectives. While the chart below looks messy at first glance, focus on the dark blue and orange trend lines. Over the past 2 years, larger homes have consistently made up the greater share of volume. What he's saying is right here, this dark blue and this orange line, you see how they're at the top of all these other lines? That's saying that large homes are carrying the average price point, because larger homes are going to sell for more, and therefore they're going to impact the average or median price. And so we have to look kind of behind the curtain of some of this data to really have an understanding of what's going on. So even though overall prices look steady compared to the last 4 years, the median price per square foot has been flat to declining since April, and now sits at its lowest level since 2021. And that's this orange line here, guys. Okay. This isn't catastrophic. It's simply the reality of today's market. Buyers and sellers should simply recognize the prices will soften further through year end. If interest rates hold steady or decline and we'll show you guys that here in a second, what interest rates are doing. 2026 is poised for a busy spring fueled by significant pent-up demand on both sides. Summary. In short, I don't want to show you. In short, the market is active but uneven. Contracts are up, showings remain strong, and buyer enthusiasm is real. But so is buyer patience. Sellers face longer timelines, deeper concessions, and the steady pull of seasonal price declines. For buyers, the advantage lies in more options and greater value per square foot. For sellers, success now depends on realism, sharp pricing, patience, and preparation for negotiations. The negative price curve will run through early 2026, but with rates stabilizing, the stage is set for a more dynamic spring ahead. Now, what's my take on this? While I pull up interest rates for you guys, I definitely think we have some room to run in terms of the negative price curve throughout this year. And I would tend to agree early 2026. Will prices rebound come next year? Maybe. I think probably in spring, but a lot of that's going to depend almost solely on the affordability of homes and therefore mortgage rates. And so if we get any bit of improvement, especially if it's any significant improvement, then that will lend optimism towards prices increasing in 2026. And so sellers, I would say, first off, your situation is so specific to you. Again, I had 2 homes sell in 3 days over asking in this market. And so I would encourage, if you're considering selling now or spring, generally overall, it's better to just wait until and sell in spring. this market is not good. However, if you have the right house in the right place and the right price, you could still do very well in today's market. But it takes it takes the right combination of puzzle pieces in order to succeed in the way I just explained in today's market. And so, again, I just encourage you guys, reach out if you guys have questions. No obligation. I'd love to do a call with you, look into your situation, and then give you guys more general or more specific advice to your situation. So you've got my email on screen or the link to book a call with me below. And let's get to rates real quick so you guys can see what they've been doing and where they are at. All right, so here's rates. 30-year fixed, just conventional 6.37. 30-year FHA is 6%. We almost broke 5. And if you can see these trend lines, really since October 2023, we've came down, we bumped up, we came down again in September 2024. And then overall, really since January 13, that's the peak right here, rates have been on a downward trend. We got a little bit of a spike April, May, but again, you see rates falling since January. So this is a really, really good sign. And if we can continue to fall, that would be huge for this market and turning around prices. So, here's the graph I just showed you that wasn't on your screen. Now, buyers, what do? Guys, since the beginning of time, I've always said, being 11 years in this business, October through December is buying season. It is time to go buy and get the best deal that you've seen all year long. First off, most of the sellers are serious about selling. Second off, it's just slower in terms of competition. You have a negative price curve, and seasonally, October and December, they just tend to be a really good time to buy because you have serious sellers in a slower market. And so your ability to negotiate is going to be increased heavily, even despite the fact that this has been a buyer's market all year long. So be sure to, take that into consideration. If you just can't buy between October and December and you need to kick it into next year, all good. My take on the market is this, that we're going to still see some negative price curve early in 2026. We're going to see the market rebound in spring, but overall, it's going to be a balanced market, somewhat of a skew to the buyer side. Again, unless we get a significant decrease in rates, that's when things will change. But overall, even if you guys are buying in spring, the springtime of 2026, from what I'm seeing, is going to be a better time to buy than any of the past 10 years in spring. Okay. So with that, guys, if you have any questions, drop them down below in the comments. I would love to answer your questions. We do this every single Wednesday, so be sure to subscribe so that you can get up-to-date information about the Denver real estate market. And we will also do custom videos just like this on lives about specific areas, whether you're in Highlands Ranch or Littleton or Denver proper or Boulder or Brighton. We'll do it all. Now, these market updates are the Denver metro. So it's made up of the seven major counties here in Denver, Colorado. And so when I say Denver market update, yes, we're talking about Denver, but we're also talking about the greater Denver metro area. And so in these updates, you are getting a digest of all of Denver metro, and therefore pretty much the surrounding areas that don't fall within those zip codes. So this is a very comprehensive update. Even though it's an article, we get it done in 5 to 10 minutes. Like, this is what's actually happening. And then I come in and back it with, hey, here's boots on the ground. Here's what I'm seeing. And everything we talked about today in terms of showings and buyers going under contract, I've seen that throughout my listings. We're getting a little bit more uptick in showings. We're starting to see more homes go under contract. Could it be just a random week and an anomaly, or is buyer demand going to continue to pick up in a unique way, given that it typically doesn't this time of year? So be sure to stay tuned. We will see you guys next Tuesday. We're headed out of town. We're taking the kids on a trip. It's going to be a blast. So I'm going to do this Tuesday instead of Wednesday. We'll catch you guys on the next one. And if you have questions, drop them below. Schedule a call with me down below at my link, and my email is on the screen. Thank you guys.